KCAA.com.
KCAA.
No matter what it is in life that you want, you gotta go out there and get it. Just don't let it come to a sleeper but a dream. Never give up on your goals, stay focused on you. Focus your view, succeed, cause I'm hoping you do. Keep climbing up the ladder, cause the key to success. Go hard and go home, never settle for less. Life is stress, but we gotta deal with it, homie. Send a prayer to the man to put a shield on it. Work hard for what you get, appreciate what you got. You can always improve, just don't stop. Going for your dream to achieve in your life. Gotta take a chance like rolling the dice. It won't come to you, so you gotta go get it. At the end of the day, add up the digits. Miss Price used to say, if there's a will, there's a way. So I live by it until this very day. I kept on mashing and I never gave up. Me believing in myself is the way I came up.
Hold you down, you gotta get up. These are your dreams. Never give up. Never ever give up. You gotta keep on hustling, keep on rocking. You gon' make it, keep believing. Never ever give up.
I'ma keep hustling till I'm down in the dirt. Number one rule is my family is first. I know you probably saying this dude trying to preach a sermon. Let me speak cause the streets deserve it. At least they learn it about the pain and the progress. Face to face with the strain of the process. Don't live your life like a Loch Ness. Anybody can succeed if you compete in the contest. But if you look and you find less, don't digress. Stick with your plan, it's just time's test. And I bet with a little persistence, determination and a little resistance, nothing can stop you from reaching your peak. But honestly, you the reason it's reached. Even if weak, you can find a way to achieve. Man, it feel good to see my people succeed.
What's up, team? This is Robert Porter with the I Love San Bernardino County radio show on KCAA NBC 106.5 FM, 1050 AM, where we will talk politics, culture, history, and today we have Eddie Funkstay in the house. How you doing, dude?
Hello, hello.
Amethyst Pimienta in the house.
Doing well, actually.
Oh, yeah, doing good? Well, we can do, how about both at the same time?
Doing welly good. The door's
And
open.
we have a special guest hiding over on the side, a very beautiful woman, but she's going to remain anonymous today.
Uh-oh, Miss Non, Miss Now.
So I hope you all had a great week. I definitely did. I got to go to Universal Studios on Tuesday,
Nice.
which was a lot of fun. I hadn't been there since I was a youngster. So to actually get on Jurassic Park and loving dinosaurs the way I do was actually lots of fun.
I'm glad you said all that, but talk to me about Mario World.
Oh, it was
Right, that's what I'm saying.
All right,
Thanks, sound guy. He knows what I'm talking about.
We went to the world. We went there, but we did not get on the ride. It was like a 2-hour wait.
Yeah, I
So
understand
like,
that.
you know, like the kids, I'm sure all loved it, but we were just adults, so we like.
Those kids don't have any money. They didn't pay to get in there. I'd be like, man, shot me up in front.
Yeah, if you pay for the fast track, that would be good. But like actually, in the tour ride, like my favorite part when I was a kid was Jaws.
Oh, yeah.
But like this time, Jaws was like, he's nothing compared to the 3D dinosaur stuff. So
No,
I
I
was
think you
like,
can see the track now that he's on. So it's like you even know that it's coming now. So
yeah,
it's not
you're
like
like,
it used to
oh
be on.
man, Jaws. I think they call what they called him Bruce. That's what they called him.
Oh, they call him
Bruce.
Bruce?
He has a name. I forgot what it
Do
was.
they still have the pool where they did Jaws, where the guy's out in the water in the middle and the
you
big
go-
screen's
yeah,
there?
You go no, the screen's gone, but it's still there. Yeah, that they need to redo that better. I think so.
Yeah, they do. I haven't been
I
on the
think
back
they
lot
use
in a long
that
time.
lake for other things and other movies and stuff like
There
that.
was a long time ago. I was down there doing some production stuff. You know, I used to work with NBC a long time ago, and so we were down there in the back lot. They have a little coffee shop back there, and we're getting some drinks because we're working in the studio in the back. And the tour tram came back around, and we could hear the people talking on the tram. They're like, "Oh, we got lucky today. We have some actors in the backstage getting some coffees." I had big old dreadlocks at the time, and the other guys with had big old dreadlocks. And we're like, "No, we're just getting a tea and a coffee going back into the studio over here." Like, We are absolutely nobody.
That's actually amazing because I saw that coffee shop and I would wonder who the famous Eddie Thompson was there not too long ago.
There's some people with pictures of us there. They're probably like, this guy's.
In their photo albums.
Yeah. We saw somebody like, no, we're just working.
All right, I would be remiss. I have to mention our sponsors, Celebrities Bar and Grill over on 40th Street. I know you're all vegans, but they got a steak special. So I guess you could get like the salad and a piece of bread.
Is it a watermelon steak?
That sounds good.
It really isn't.
Yeah.
It really isn't.
As a vegan,
no, I don't think we've tried.
No. I think I've actually ate one before, and it was actually wasn't too bad.
As a vegan, I don't like. I'm not into
it?
anything replicated. I don't want hot dogs. I don't want hamburgers. I don't want ribs. I don't want any of that stuff.
Just call it cooked water.
Just give me a carrot.
I think that when you take different plants and you do something that you normally don't do with them, or some exotic culture does with them,
like
and you're
eat
trying,
'em?
Well, Amy was mentioning that. Anonymous. I'm not. She cooked a banana and it was super good.
I've fried bananas many times.
Yeah.
Those are
I've
delicious.
fried off banana leaves. Or banana peels. I mean, sorry.
Oh, does that actually work?
Yeah, Bill Cosby taught me that.
Oh, Bill.
Go Bill.
You're gonna learn something from him.
Yeah, it was his comedy record.
Yeah.
It was like, people smoke banana pills.
Yeah.
And we're like, get out of here. My mom's got bananas over here.
Don't tell anybody, but I think I may have tried that. It tasted
I don't know
nasty.
I don't know who has. I think that's what the trip is. You're like,
There was always someone saying, "Oh yeah, you just take a lemon, an orange peel, and just leave it on the shelf." And I'm like, "What the heck?"
Eat the mold or whatever. I'm sure mold does some things to
Isn't
us.
that what happened to Eric?
I don't know if they're good. I don't know if they're good, but mold does things to us.
So they have a steak special going on.
Well, we gotta wait for you. But Max has made some good drinks over there.
Yeah, I've had a drink from him.
Yeah.
He's pretty good when I used to drink. Yeah.
And he's a nice guy. We still got to get you a show going over there.
Yes.
He was totally down. We just got to do a little more focus. I'm sorry.
Totally.
No worries.
Dude, we've been so busy
Yeah.
too, so it hasn't been a focus. When I reached out to you in that, I think it was like in December. We were kind of like, it's Christmas time. Things are a little bit slow with shows, and so we were kind of like focusing on the next year. That's this year coming up. So that whole
Now it's all crazy.
Yeah, but it's perfect though because we are getting a couple of breaks coming up, and we have some open spaces for us to start work because we've been busy for the last 6 months, pretty extensive, and so it's really nice that now that I, even talking to you before about coming in here a few months ago, like my schedule was totally, I had no time. So when you reached out a couple of weeks ago, and then I was able to get back to you and phone tag the way we end up doing it, but. It all just worked out being here now and to set up the forward for the next few months. Like,
Let's do it.
We have the next 6 months of planning to do. We have some pretty cool shows that are already we have dates. They're planned. They're good to go.
All of them over there.
And then we have a couple of really good things going on. So we do have time right now to work on some stuff. So it's nice to try to come down to the region. We've been in Utah. We've been in Arizona. We've been traveling a lot doing our shows. And so it'd be nice to do something around here locally because, man, I went to San G High School in Sierra. So I'm from here, Double AO Middle School. I went to Emerton when I moved here from LA. So, I mean, it'd be nice to come back to my neighborhood and play some handpan at celebrities.
Have some fun.
I feel like an IE celebrity, Like I won a cannabis cup at the Orange Show back in like 15 years ago. That was pretty cool, but, I'd rather play handpan at celebrities.
Back in the day. I think me and Elmo won for ice hash, but I had to be all secret back in the day. That was Kush Cup. That was
Kush Cup or Kush Stock?
Might have been Kush Stock.
They're
the
all
Kush
good.
Cup.
So many darn ones out there.
Are they different?
So the big question is, can you make some more of that hash? I know where Elmo is. Let's make
We
this
can
happen.
find him if we need to.
So I think what it was a collaborative project with
Love you, Elmo.
with me actually providing some of the herbs and Elmo back when I used to get crazy. And Elmo actually making the actual product, and he did a great job.
He's really good
I remember
at making that
Elmo
stuff.
used to hold you down, so I do remember that.
Yeah, he had some ice hash cut.
He just had some good stuff. I saw him not too long ago. Go Elmo, love you.
He's still making great hash. I will say
you're
that.
You're here in
When we
tremendous
do run
spirit,
into
brother.
him, he has good
and
hash.
I have to give that to Elmo. He's doing good, but who mass making it right here.
Yeah.
I showed him a little bit of that back in my day. Back when I used to have fun doing that kind of stuff. Not anymore as much.
No.
I don't know why.
Too many people doing it.
Yeah, it wasn't. It's not as much fun, and it was
Used
a
to
lot
be-
of hard work too.
Well, you used to
It's
pull,
not easy.
Yeah.
you used to pull it out and be the only one pulling it out. Now it's like you pull it out and everybody's got these fancy little colorful jars from the local dispensary. So it's like, they did what they accomplished, what they set to do, and that was to standardize, normalize, and disintegrate cannabis culture.
And I actually set out to do a thing called tax revenue. So like I wanted to help our friends that were getting arrested. I also wanted to, help the movement, but I saw it getting out of control. But the one part that is kind of cool is that the people that were going to jail for stupid little for an ounce or whatever that ain't happening, and $3 million that was in the gray market just out there.
Yep.
Actually going to San Bernardino, they need money to fill the potholes in front of the dispensary.
I still
Tell me about
I still have like a 10-year-old question. Where's the money from Prop 215 and SB 420 for all of the patients to get county cards to keep us from getting arrested?
Yeah.
Every county got the funding from the state, and only Riverside came with the program. San Bernardino never came with the card program from the health department, but all these people got the money, and all the city officials know where it went.
So
But it didn't go to protect us.
So there is possibility of this that happens with funds that are dispersed, is that if you don't use them correctly, they get clawed back.
Oh,
I'm not
clawed.
sure if there was a provision in that for that, but what's interesting is that it wouldn't be unusual for me to see a city entity or a county entity be like hands off totally. Like I don't want anything to do with that. Go ahead, claw it back.
Again, this is
Yeah.
2004, 2005. At the time,
Well, the county still has a full band.
oh yeah,
Yeah, like what the?
they're pretty Neanderthalish.
Yes. I've told them several times. I'm like, make some money. Get even your.
Oh, they have made money. They just
Oh,
don't
yeah.
want us making money. So that's all it is. As soon as we get that simple understanding, we stop communicating with them, and we start voting our people that communicate with us.
Yes.
And
Aho.
that could have better policies for
Yes.
sure.
Totally, because there's people. Anybody can vote for. Anybody can run for office. So like, it's not some
Tell
like
me about
special standard of like a school that kicks
Eddie
people.
Funkster
Yeah.
for president.
I will not drink the pig's blood.
We have quite a few politicians that have done some pretty.
Yeah,
funky
they wanted me to
stuff.
run for politician for years ago.
Yeah.
All sponsors.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We have Fire Morisco's on Court Street. Now, me and Amy just went down on Saturday and had some Fire Morisco tacos and wings. And Amy likes hot wings. I know you don't eat the carne.
I don't mind.
But these wings are actually super hot.
Nice.
And they put some fries in there too. And
I'm sure the sauce is vegan.
It was good. It was
so
good.
I can get the sauce.
Where is this located?
And I can put it on a carrot.
Court Street, right downtown. So we went to the art walk. And now,
Yeah, I wanna check that out.
Yeah, and then walked over to Fire Morisco's and had some food.
Is it the first Saturday of the month?
It's bi-monthly now, so go to TSB Art Walk on Instagram.
For downtown San Bernardino Art Walk?
Yeah,
Way
if
cool.
you want.
Smart.
Yeah, if you want to
Smart.
see the bi-monthly. I think it's August, at the end of August.
Okay.
Oh, it's my birthday. That's all I gotta
Yeah,
say. We're good to go.
it's coming up. It will be hot, I'm sure, but I think they're holding it from 10 to 2. So
Nice.
it's like
Ah.
they cut the hours down a little bit. And
They should do it from
yeah,
10 at night to 2 in the morning.
yeah,
That's a great time.
yeah. That would
Really
be actually a lot
cool.
cooler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, really nice.
Like weather cooler.
Summertime, you know.
So if you are on Court Street or you're on D Street by Molly's there, Fire Morisco's is right there. Just go in there, visit Geraldo. He's trying to keep it going and keep downtown going with the other business like Viva La Boba and the Enterprise Building.
Yeah, we just went to the IE Vegan fair that they have there.
the Enterprise Building.
Yeah.
That's the old Windjammer, right?
Yeah.
The old Windjammer. It's between the old Windjammer. Yeah, that they were in the old Windjammer.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
old Windjammer.
The-
Yeah.
No. The old Windjammer, because the old Windjammer was on the corner of 4th.
Yeah,
It was right on the
that's
corner.
Where that's right where we're at right there.
Also, it's at the old one?
Yeah, it's on
Because the
old-
old one is the one right in the inside the middle of the block
So
on 4th
the
Street.
old Windjammer's on E Street and Court Street, right there.
Nice.
Yeah, that's when I got thrown at for looking at,
Vegan
at
Sundays
for looking at. I called it a bong, and I was like 15, and they threw me out. And the guy said they're called water cylindrical pipes. Get out of here.
Then they moved down the street where you're talking about, and they celebrated their 50 years, and now they're gone, right?
Well, yeah, now they're down there. Well, are they still there? They were down there by the old Pep Boys.
Yeah, I think.
I seen that they were at the corner, and then a couple, might have been a
Moved
year ago.
down, yeah.
I seen that they were to the right, and they were a little like a smoke shop, little gift store. It kind of looked like. It wasn't the big Windjammer that it was, but like that was my culture growing up. That was my hangout spot. We'd be at the Carousel
Cannabis
Mall.
Corner, we had them come on
Way
for
cool.
the 45th or 40th
Way cool.
anniversary or something, but like you could tell even by then, their time had kind of.
Yeah, it's really it's
They
really
had
hard.
a time where
There's-
everybody went there to get the detox stuff.
All the
right?
oh yeah, you're
Or
in luck.
whatever,
You're
you know what I
you're
mean?
in luck.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tommy Chong.
Did you ever use any of that stuff?
Heck yeah, I did.
So
Yes.
Windjammer was your local
Failed twice.
head shop.
Yeah,
in a
you do.
sense.
Failed twice. I had to call the number on it, give them the code, and they gave me back my $30. But I
no,
still lost
like-
the job. I didn't get the job.
I took it for hood plumbing and I passed.
Nice.
So like,
Good job. Good job.
I just had my friend pee in a bag, and I did the nice one.
the things that people have to do.
Aren't you guys lucky you don't have to go through this?
That's like so
anymore?
1998.
Yeah.
Cheese and crackers.
We reminisce. I also have to mention a great friend of mine, Kenny Schultz, is a San Bernardino standout of the week. He's a local guy that loves San Bernardino. Him and his mom have always loved San Bernardino. We've been involved together at Urban Garden San Bernardino. He's
Nice.
kind of like our de facto president and runs the Urban Gardens
Beautiful.
Facebook group too.
Very
So I've been on there, but he makes sure we have an event, the crop swap every month.
Oh, nice.
And he sets it up at the Center for Spiritual Living, where he's
Ah.
a board member.
Nice.
So he also does audio visual over there on Sunday. I'm really proud
Way
of Kenny
cool.
Schultz and
So
all that he's
cool.
done.
We
Yeah.
do
We just
do
did-
sound healing and sound bath work at a Center for Spiritual Living in Apple Valley.
And we just played there yesterday.
Yeah, we just did a
interesting.
sound bath yesterday. So
And we even played at their morning meditation.
So the
Yes.
Center of Spiritual Living is more of a non-denominational type of
I loved
church, yeah.
that place. I was raised Catholic, as a kid, and then when I got older, started going to Christian churches. I've been to Baptist churches, so like I'm deep and heavy in like the Christianity part and Catholicism part of religion. Like as I was raised. So when I walked into this place, this over the last 2 years, I've started walking into this place. She's been going there her whole life. Like her whole upbringing was in this center.
my
And
mother was a practitioner of
Blue-
the church. So.
Okay.
blew my mind away. You walk in there and they light these 12 candles of every religion that has been recognized. I mean, they can't go through all the religions, but they start off, the first candle they light is for shamanism. They light a candle for Judaism. They light a candle for Islam. They light a candle for Catholics.
The most inclusive church in our
Amazing.
area.
All
Yes,
of the
yes.
churches.
Amazing. Like everybody, I've never walked into a place and felt welcome as a human,
Well,
except for the
Anybody is
center of
welcome
spiritual
there.
living.
and you would at our crop swaps too. I'm
Oh,
sure.
totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I could bring some crops. I'll swap. We'll
I-
swap
I-
crops.
want.
Thank you, Kenny Schultz, for I Love San Bernardino Standout of the Week, and that is brought to us by Ben Chavez of First Lineage Site Services, who wants to help our community
Not
from
Ben
San
Chavez,
Bernardino.
I'm just joking.
Yeah, he doesn't really have a business where you can like go get food or anything. He like is a middleman when it comes to doing construction stuff.
Cool.
Nice.
So, but he loves San Bernardino and wants to do something. So
There's a big gap in this space. It
Yeah.
needs to be filled
San
by a lot of
Bernardino
love.
needs love.
Yeah, and like even if it is a little award that I can do, and like I actually went to the mayor, Mayor Helen Tran, and I said, hey, and to her assistant, I said the one thing that Valdivia did good was pass out a bunch of recognition awards.
Yeah.
I mean, you just print them out and.
Let
Yep.
people know.
Yeah,
People need
you're-
recognition.
yeah,
That is,
care,
when people,
good.
when people are
Yeah.
recognized for doing something, they do more.
Yes.
And they do better.
The
And they
morale
challenge
goes
themselves.
up.
And then you
Yeah.
inspire others to want to do better and do more.
Totally.
So recognizing those that are doing good things, even if it is thank you, high
Yep.
five.
So the
That's
cool-
just so necessary.
Another cool thing is that just to segue it into there, the Center of Spiritual Living, we were just featured on ABC News for a special about religious churches actually losing tremendous attendance that the Catholic churches, Christian churches, every church, Mormon church, there's a
Baptist,
lot of people that are
Mormon.
leaving the church. And so ABC News content, we work with a group called Hummingbird Church, and you can find that at hummingbirdchurch.com, and they do ayahuasca ceremonies, and we've been doing this for years. And so,
so wait, so slow down.
Slow down.
What is ayahuasca?
ayahuasca is a plant mixture from.
If you haven't seen A Man Called Bee. Yeah, have
No,
you seen A Man Called Bee?
No, no.
Oh my!
I have
have
not
not
seen
seen
A
A
Man- no,
Man
you got
Called
me
Bee.
No.
Oh.
Well,
No,
have to.
Maccabee, right? I know
Oh,
Maccabee.
this is like the cultural anthropology film that every single
Oh, yeah, no.
student has to watch.
I
in-
run from school. It's
Yeah,
too programmable for
Yeah,
me.
it's like it's participant observation at its finest,
Oh,
where
wow.
an anthropologist goes. Is it the Yanomamo and does the ayahuasca ceremony?
Yawanawa.
Yeah, where they
The
blow it in,
rape,
they
that's-
blow it in the nose.
Yep,
Oh.
they use yopo.
Yeah.
That's yopo.
Yeah,
That's
is it-
actually
is it a
not
little-
ayahuasca.
It's a little bit
It's
different. Yep.
It's a little bit
there's-
different. Okay.
There's a couple things we blow into your sinuses. One is called rape, and
Okay.
that's tobacco snuff that comes from the jungles, the Amazon jungles.
Non-psychedelic.
This is the deep indigenous work from the tribes.
So that would have a nicotine type of
Yes,
effect.
it has tobacco, ceremonial tobacco. You know, it doesn't have Marlboro Reds or Camels in it. You know, it's like
Yeah, it's non-processed, no tar.
It's the traditional ceremonial tobacco, so it's
Okay.
been prayed over. It's got a lot of love, and so they blow that into your sinus, and it's not a psychedelic. You don't go anywhere. You're completely present. It like burns like you jump into a pool and you get chlorine in your nose. It's kind of what you get, but it just releases yourself of negative intention, addictions, depression. We've actually helped a good friend of ours beat alcoholism. He was a heavy alcoholic. He's been in and out of all of the 12-step rehab programs. He knows them by the back of his head. He called and they had a bed for him. They even knew his name. Like, hey, good to hear from you. Come on in. We missed you.
I saw several people do this. I didn't do it myself because I'm sometimes a little weary. I like to watch and study first.
Totally.
But like everybody seemed fine. One person did have phlegm and had to puke, get it out. Right?
We call that getting well.
Yeah, getting well. But it wasn't anything really bad or anything. They came right back and.
Yeah. So
yeah.
ayahuasca is some plants from the jungles, which my part of it, you know, again, I don't stick to too much traditional things. I'm a feature entity, and so thousands of years ago, they say that a sky entity came down and told them that these two plants were going to connect them to their visionary world, where we come from, our subconscious.
A hallucinogen and a MAO inhibitor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And so DMT, dimethyltryptamine, we produce it. Everything living on Earth produces DMT. We're all holding. That was one of Terrence McKenna's favorite phrases to tell people. We're all holding. So don't worry about it. We're all illegal.
Yep.
So, and that's a good thing. And that's there's a long, in-depth part of it, which I won't really go into right now because people can do their research. You know, I'm not here to educate anybody about all these substances. I'm here to talk to people that we are very educated in it. I've been working on this work for many years. You know, I've been published in High Times magazine since 2008.
You treat it as a science.
Yes, I've been working with people with psychedelics and with cannabis and with products like that in plant medicine as in a respectful, traditional, ceremonial way. Even though I don't believe in ceremonies and things like that, I do believe that some things have a respectable step and a procedure and a routine. Once you do those steps, procedures, and routine, there's an outcome of positivity. And so I work in that space. Constantly work in that space. I don't listen to others. I don't listen to all the stuff that's the communication that comes from all the spaces that aren't in my face, in my steps, in my witness. So I hold that very accountable to me. Social media has been teaching people how to listen to the ethers and believe these words that fly through the air that have no groundation to our lives. And so I have sat with the medicine and have connected with myself and the divine that I am here to witness in person. That is my whole experience is witness in person. I do these things because it's part of society and the way.
But you also add to the experience
Totally.
with the sound baths and the.
Oh,
So,
totally.
so
yeah.
Amethyst, tell us a little bit about. We'll get into your beautiful instrument over there in a second.
Right.
But what is your part you play in the sound baths?
Me and Eddie assist the taita because he's not considered a shaman. Where he comes from, they're called taitas. So he's basically a shaman.
We're just talking
but
about our sound baths.
yeah. So we assist him with the sound. So our sound in the ayahuasca ceremony, you're asking? Yeah. We wait till they've taken medicine, and then me and Eddie come in and bring and provide vibrational sounds around them. And
So how do you? Okay, so you read the crowd like you do any crowd.
yes.
How do you know what instrument you need more of?
So a good thing about it is that before the ayahuasca ceremonies even started incorporating us, we've been doing sound healing, sound baths, sound therapy sessions for a while already. So we've been having people come and do meditation music for about an hour, and you guys were able to come to some of our sound bath events and experience the sound bath. So we just kind of like raise the vibration and give a lot of
Good buzz.
Definitely. We have
Definitely.
research that shows that 20 minutes of listening to gongs can actually rehydrate blood cells, free flow yourself, get rid of inflammation, irritation in the body, help with dementia and Alzheimer's, and help you get sleep and help with insomnia.
What do you think might cause that? Some type of vibration within the body?
Well, we're over 80% water, and if you look at somatics and you can look at what sound and frequencies do to water, it does the same thing to us.
And of course, your blood is mostly water too, as well.
The same way we are completely induced by the moon and the high tides and low tides and the new moons. Our bodies are very in tune with Earth, and so we resonate at a very high frequency of 432. So the whole Earth resonates at 432 hertz. There's like a whole thing of understanding within that realm of the Earth's vibration and this hertz that we work with.
If you're interested in hearing that, you can actually go. YouTube has a bunch of videos, but in person, it is way cooler.
A lot of the YouTube stuff, I stopped putting a lot of stuff on YouTube because YouTube, when you upload things to YouTube, they encode the audio and it breaks up the audio. So you never you'll never be in the same experience as if you go to a live session. So
you don't feel the vibration as much.
You will not feel the vibration. I don't care what system you have. You will
part
not
of
feel
why
it.
me and him do, well, I mean, because we're very familiar with their sounds. We were doing our sound baths for a while before we were approached by the ayahuasca church to help provide sound healing in their ceremonies. And part of us being able to do that is knowing the sounds and how they were affecting people that weren't under medicine and how they helped certain people with certain issues. And then us as well, while we're there in ceremony, we take a very small dose, but we are also on the medicine, and that allows us to be in tune with those people as well on the medicine so that we can interact with them in a very healing way. We're working energy around them so that they can go through and get through a lot of their emotional stuff.
But one of the
that
other
they're
big
going through.
things too also is that, again, with my work, I've been helping with ceremonies and shamans and these works for over almost 20 years personally myself. So me, myself, I've been in ceremonial spaces with San Pedro shamans, with mushroom shamans, with ayahuasca shamans, with peyote shamans. I have sat with these ceremonies for a long time in my life. I understand the space, I know the ceremonial effort, I know the respect in the space, and I know my effort of being in that space. I've learned it, I understand it, and when they reached out to us to ask us to be there, us being in the space and holding ourselves in the space so that we know that is needed to be in that type of ceremony, where people are very vulnerable. There's a lot of heavy traumas that are being pushed out of people, and people are getting over addictions and depression, and there's physical diseases. Like,
well, it seems like there's
heavy.
study after study that shows, it's usually with magic mushrooms lately, but it shows that hallucinogens do have an effect on depression, anxiety.
They knew this in the 50s. So in the 50s, your grandmother probably at the time could have went to a local doctor here at Loma Linda and got dosed with LSD 25, and that was a very strong LSD. That was a pharmaceutical grade.
So what I think happened it started to having a movement, but then, people abuse things like they do always, and something crazy happens.
The fact is out there. No, this is the fact. The fact is they did MK Ultra. There's a guy named Ken Keasley, and he's still around today, and it's his son Zane. He drives the Further bus, which is the bus that runs to all the Grateful Dead shows. And his name is Zane Keasley. Ken Keasley is his father. Love that dude. When I met him, great dude. He was part of the MK Ultra studies that the government did on our soldiers. He was the one that came out of the U.S. program and told everybody about LSD. Hooked up with
what did they think they were going to get out of it? Some kind of truth serum?
Free the mind. Free the mind. Because that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to drop LSD on the other countries were fighting to see if they could make them all have love and no war, and we just come in.
Which almost happened in Japan. A crazy cultist actually almost sprayed LSD over all of Tokyo.
Yeah, so they did it with us with social media. So they know that there's a mind control thing, and so MK Ultra was the study that was done by our U.S. government on our soldiers. It's a whole factual documentation, and there's a gentleman named Ken Keasley that went to San Francisco and made a bunch of cool stuff happen. So it's. The facts are that, we know that these things have a lot of tremendous positive efforts. The propaganda and the fear of the people is why all of it's being pushed, and that's where it all came into circle with the ABC News coming to do the special with us about the religion thing, is because churches are losing people from coming to the churches now, so they want to get more people there. And so they're asking us, you guys, it's ayahuasca church, got a bunch of people coming here, and how is that happening with spirituality and religion and all that thing? And I'll tell you right now, we sit there with 50 people that do these ceremonies, and we get a lot of good information. I just had a gentleman a couple of months ago tell me that in his second ceremony that he was taking his second cup, and in his second cup he completely vanished. He disintegrated and turned into everything on the earth. And in that time and in that moment, God pulled up a chair, sat down next to him, and told him how he made the mountains, the trees, the birds. He goes, all of this useless information God told me. And I was like, cool, man, how you feeling? He goes, I'm feeling all right. But I'm just trying
That's
to...
pretty epic right there.
Yeah, I would have been blown. Wow.
68 years old. He goes, I'm trying to wrap my head around this. I've been an atheist my whole life.
So God talked to an atheist.
So I could do nothing but say, be well.
I've had a similar experience myself. I was an atheist for most of my life. I am no longer.
Yeah.
But I do not particularly pick any religion. As an anthropologist, I love to study all of them.
Yeah.
And, there's
Yep.
got to be good things in everything. What you find when you really study all of them.
Yeah.
They have a lot more in common than they...
Yep.
than
They all
they
Oh
do.
yeah, that's why being a member of the Church of the Center of Spiritual
Mm-hmm.
Living, they incorporate every belief. I've
Oh,
met
so
rabbis,
you
I've
see
sat
it all.
with monks.
Right.
I feel and I know that all religion has some like definite honor of love. That's what they all really boil down to. So if you just honor love and are a
Help your
loving,
neighbor.
better human being, you're
But my
living
whole-
a spiritual path, you know.
So my whole thing was that this feature they came to do with us about the church and about us we were providing sound in the ceremony, and they recorded us doing the sound. They interviewed some of these people. You can find it on YouTube on ABC News. Just type in ayahuasca, and it's the recent most footage that they did, story that they did. And my whole context of it is that, what is the number one force that any political person does? They go to the church. They go to all the churches, and they sit with the congregation, and they sit with Brother Robert, and hey, Brother Robert, you should vote for me. And you should tell all your friends over there, you should vote for me. And so they need the church. Politics need the church.
That is true.
You know what we need? We need people to get off of other people's minds and look outside your window and fix that problem. Because it's not, the problems in Washington, D.C. are not nowhere near the problems of San Bernardino. The problems of San Bernardino, I went to high school here. I was here in 1991. It was a thriving city at the time. There wasn't the crime that we have here today. Jeez, you'd walk into a Stater Brothers on Del Rosa, and there would be 50 guardsmen from Norton Air Force Base wearing camouflage uniforms. You think people were stealing candy bars
it did
and
kinda-
breaking into cars?
No.
Dude,
It
that was
did
not
kinda change.
happening. I was there when it fell apart.
I know. I love
We don't have
it.
enough time.
I love this, but
wanna talk
I
about
am
some
changing
good
the
stuff.
subject, man.
Please.
I will stay on this forever, but I have to hear about the toads in the
Oh, the frogs?
herpetology and
Yes.
the snakes.
Well, see, that's what all this stuff does.
So where did this
it
come from?
inspires me.
Because you didn't have them before, so you just started recently, like about a year ago, getting your first.
over the last, like,
your
6
first
months.
Frog?
It's been about 6
We got about
months.
6 months. We got
Okay.
our first. We got
So-
poison dart frogs.
Okay, those are different colors, right?
Very
Very
different colors. They
vibrant
look like
colors.
Skittles. They're all kinds of crazy, cool looking colors.
We have
six.
two
Three-
sets of
three
each.
different
kind.
three
Yeah.
different
And
species.
what do they eat?
Flies.
Flies.
Fruit
Crickets.
flies. Fruit flies and crickets. Yeah,
You buy those?
Yes, and
Okay.
she also makes she makes her own
Make your own
cultures.
flies?
Culture-
You
a
like
culture
in a
Yeah,
broom
she
pot?
brews them all.
Well, I mean, I don't make them. But I cultivate a culture so that they can live, and then I feed them to the.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so the ones that we have, they're called Dendrobates tinctorius, and that's the name of the genus that you can find of some of. There's a whole bunch of different ones, and we have
Many.
Dendrobates leucomelias, which are called bumblebees. Dendrobates tinctorius.
So that would be yellow and black?
Yep, yellow and black, and they're really cool. And there's some of the strongest ones. The strongest ones are called tribellises, Phalaberus tribellus, and those guys, one little frog about the size of a quarter,
It's
has
super tiny.
has enough poison to kill 10 humans
In the wild.
in the
Yes.
wild.
Yes.
In
So
captivity,
explain what I meant.
yes.
Yeah, in
So in
captivity,
captivity,
no.
we feed them fruit flies and crickets, and so they don't get all the in the wild, like in Costa Rica, Panama, and Peru, where these frogs come from. The reason why we're collecting is conservation. A lot of the regions are being torn apart. They're ripping up the jungles, taking a lot of the water ponds. They're being ruined by a lot of mining, and so a lot of these frogs are dying, and they're no longer. And again, like we spoke about earlier about that virus that came and took out tortoises years ago when you were
Killing
younger.
amphibians.
There was a big thing that happened in 2003 in Costa Rica and Panama and wiped out a big part of a lot of these species, right? So we have a group of people that have been sending these. To be honest with you, most of these frogs are in Canada. These Canadians,
Yes.
they know how to grow. They know how to keep these things alive,
love
and they
them.
get down. So there's these guys on YouTube that just really have been taking the conservation effort of these frogs, poison dart frogs, into a whole new level. And what we do is we keep them in captivity. We don't mix the frogs. So the yellow frogs don't sit with the blue frogs or the purple frogs or the green frog. Like, they don't mix with each other. You keep them all separate, and that's how you make sure that you keep, because some of these frogs that we have, they're not even found in the wild anymore.
So what if I know humans are crazy, so some people are hybridizing.
Definitely they are.
Oh yeah.
Do they
But
create new colors? Is that
Well,
Yeah.
but the community isn't respecting
Yeah.
them at the moment.
So there's two different movements.
It'll be-
kind of.
yes,
There's
yes.
a pets movement, and then there's an actual people trying to save the.
And we're
Yes.
like kind of on the
Yeah,
cusp,
yeah.
but because you also don't want to intermix them because of diseases and like their bodies, they have different. Like, some of them can take molds, some of them can't. So you just don't want them to intermix and breed, because again, I'm not a herpologist, so I don't know, or a biologist, so I wouldn't really know the negative impact I would be doing. But I'll tell you right now, we've been to so many reptile shows where we see, like, hey, that's a frog. These two frogs are hybridized. These are hybrid frogs.
I'm like, that looks like a this and a that,
And-
but that's not.
So
not
which
my
is actually
business.
within the snake world has been happening a long time, and they've created all these different varieties,
Very.
and these snakes couldn't survive in the wild.
Oh no!
Right,
So
yeah.
I just found out
Yeah.
today.
Some of them.
Yeah,
can-
yeah.
I just found out today that Burmese pythons, right? Which everybody knows Burmese pythons. We've had them in captivity. Besides boa constrictors, Burmese pythons have been like the second most collected constrictor on Earth, right, in America, right? So they're actually called Florida pythons now
'Cause
because they let so many loose in the
They
Everglades.
live there and everything.
Yeah. So there's this big
breed
thing
and
about
everything
about
there.
Have you ever
these
seen
things.
now? Does the albino one? Has they ever caught one there? Like,
Don't know.
Yeah,
Most of the
yeah.
albino ones don't, unless they're large and they're let
They
go.
usually get
when
caught,
they're
yeah.
babies, they usually get eaten fast because they're too bright and they don't camouflage well.
They
So
can't.
only in
hide.
captivity have we been able to really create a lot of the morphs. We call them
the
morphs.
different colors.
Yes,
which
different
Some of the
patterns.
snakes you have are so beautiful.
So we have a few different. So besides the poison dart frogs, that's where we have. We also have reticulated pythons and we have ball python. So the reticulated pythons are, which everybody knows, are the largest land animal. Oh wait, real quick. The Burmese pythons, they're actually almost extinct where they're from in Thailand.
Isn't that amazing?
That's why they're calling
that's
them
why they-
Florida.
Yeah.
That's why they
python.
stopped. That's why they stopped importing them, and we can't get any new species in from Thailand, is because they're endangered, right? But in America, there's so many in captivity. There's so many that are being produced that in Florida they call Florida pythons. That actually there's a law that went through a couple of years ago that actually you can't have large constrictors. You can't have Burmese pythons or reticulated pythons in Florida, and they just killed 25 large 10-year-old plus, like 15-foot, very healthy, extremely beautiful pets, breeding pets in Florida. And it's you can look it up. It
And
happened April
they can
6th.
they can even eat alligators. They're
Oh, they do.
So huge.
They
Yeah,
can
they
eat
do.
deer.
Yeah, they do.
They can
So
eat
there's a reason why they're
goats.
called man-eating
Yeah.
pythons.
Unfortunately, they're wiping out the Everglades.
They really are. They're
wildlife
doing a lot of
populations,
problems
yeah.
for the ecosystem.
They,
there.
they will become they're probably becoming the main food source.
You
as
can
we
hunt them.
speak.
You can
Yeah.
hunt them. You can get a permit to go hunt Burmese pythons
'Cause
out there like for
alligators
nothing.
eat them too.
Yep.
I mean, like it's
Oh, yeah.
like they're
Well, they
becoming
have
part
to.
of the system.
They have
And
to.
so
or they get
That's all
eaten.
that's there. Yeah.
And so the reticulated pythons that we have, which reticulated
Oh, it
pythons,
tastes musky.
the reticulated pythons that we have, which everybody knows, reticulated pythons are the largest animal on Earth. Besides anacondas, reticulated pythons are like neck and neck, depending on who you talk to, right? So, but reticulated pythons are actually known as some of the largest animals in Asia. And then we have the anacondas in Americas. So they are the largest animal in Asia, hands down, no big deal. So in Sulawesi in Indonesia, right, these larger islands, they're called mainland. So these mainland reticulated pythons, that's what you'd see if you go to LA Zoo. These big 20-foot animals, like girth, 300
They
pound
eat rabbits and guinea pigs, kind of thing.
goats.
Yeah.
Yeah, big
Deer.
things, right? Deer, yeah,
Dang,
stuff like
that's
that.
gotta cost a lot of.
Yeah, it
What's
does.
gonna happen when yours get there?
I'm getting there. So what we
You're
have.
getting rich over
No,
there?
not at all. Not at all. I'm catching my neighborhood cats. No, I'm just-
I love kitties. He's not
Just
doing
joking.
that.
What we got is what we have is what's called dwarf and super dwarf reticulated
Oh.
pythons, and so they come from the islands that are adjacent.
They're never
from
gonna
there.
eat a kitty. Yeah.
Nah, I won't feed them to them.
Yeah.
We won't give it to
so,
him.
So these, instead of these getting 18 to 25 feet, they should get anywhere from 9 to 15 feet projectively. And instead of them getting 200 to 300 pounds, they stay about the size of a Coke can, and they're about 10 to 20 pounds. You can hold them on one arm, a 15 foot snake you can hold on one arm. You don't need 3 people to pull it out of an enclosure.
'Cause it's so
you know,
heavy,
so
yeah.
there's this whole like it's the same thing like Frenchie bulldogs and like
or a dwarf avocado tree.
yeah. So the way I'm looking at it right now is if like I just purchased a dwarf polar bear.
Yes. Okay.
Which would probably a polar bear is like 20 feet tall.
Yeah.
500 pounds. So if I got a dwarf one, it's gonna be 10 feet. And it's only gonna be 300 pounds. Sold.
Yeah.
No, not to me. Only to.
So my friend
So
here.
how many do you have now? How many snakes?
We have 7. We have 6 reticulated pythons from this guy. This is one of my good guys.
Hell Creek.
Hell Creek Reptiles. He's out of LA right now, and he's going to Idaho because he needs a bigger space. You cannot have 10-foot animals in Los Angeles, and he's literally
Downtown LA.
planes are landing above his house, like
Yeah.
by LAX.
He's not in an area.
So he's
where
like in
it's-
a very tight area, like I grew up there, so I know right where. And he's going. He needs land like where I'm at in the desert, in the high desert. He needs to go to
bigger enclosures too.
totally, and
He
because
has a whole
he has
barn that
very
he's trying to get.
extremely beautiful animals, very healthy animals, very fun animals. Like it's a meditative. Everything we do is meditative, right? So we treat every day like a ceremony. Our life is a ceremony. So we feel like when we go get these animals from these breeders, it's just like going to a puppy mill or going to a cat mill. They have all these dogs in these cages, and they're to sell, and they don't make friends. They don't name the dogs because they're just it's a product they have to sell. They want you to fall in love with it. They want you to name it. They want you to bring it home and take it to your family. So I feel like I did a great service for these animals, taking them out of their breeder tubs that they have them in, because the breeders are creating these things. They're trying to make the next best looking animal. They're all in it for like as Picasso and any other artist or sculpture. They're trying to create something new and exciting that people want to have, or they're the only ones that do, and you want to be part of what they're creating. So this whole culture of them has been pretty intense, of how it's taken. So there's like a big argument on social media, a bunch of children's stuff going on about like, so I had a bunch of people arguing with me saying that I got this mainland snake. I'm gonna get a 20-foot snake. It's gonna be unmanageable for my family and stuff. And to be honest with you, nobody knows anything. I know a lot about genetics, and this guy had 20, like 12, 15, 20 eggs, right? Out of those 15, 20 eggs, I could have bought the one egg that has the genetic of the 20-foot, 200-pound
Yeah,
snake.
I mean, if you have kids, some of your kids are tall.
Yeah, look at your brothers. Look at your brothers and your sisters.
Some of them are not.
Come from the same mom, or you come
Yeah.
from the same mom and dad. You guys are all different. One looks like grandpa, one acts like grandma, one looks like cousin, one looks like. We've never seen this one before.
Yeah,
it's old
who has
ancestor
black
popping
hair?
back
We don't
up.
have black hair.
So with me, with this person, I just got into a space where I started to think about it, and I used to have when I was a kid, my mom. My mom.
Yes, I do.
She has a picture of me with a snake. And my mom's a hardcore religious lady. And so back then, snakes were not cool. She let me have snakes. I used to catch gopher snakes, lived in La Puente, so we're out there at Otterbein Park at the time, which I don't know what it's called today, by La Puente Hills Mall. And I was in the park up there catching crawdads, catching rattlesnakes. Well, I wouldn't catch rattlesnakes, but I'd chase them off. And I'd catch gopher snakes, rosy boas. I'd catch all those. I was like second grade, third grade doing these things. I actually traded a gopher snake for a Burmese python. I could never imagine doing that today, being over 40 years old, trading an 8-year-old kid a 25-foot snake, even though it was a little tiny snake at the time. When I got older, I started to realize, like, oh my God, this dude gave me a massive animal.
And he was like, here you go.
He probably had somebody that wanted to buy the gopher snake, and nobody wanted to buy the Burmese python because I didn't know any better.
And his mom's telling me, that thing stayed outside. I'm like, you can't keep the snake outside.
for
What
years,
the heck?
My whole life I've been into reptiles. So my older sons, they're in their mid-20s now. When they're younger, we had a whole zoo. I had bearded dragons. I had iguanas. I used to run free in my house, in my studio room, my drums and all my instruments and all my music equipment. I had an iguana. I used to free roam in the room. And I've had a couple friends that had big animals.
How long did the iguana live?
I sold. I ended up selling the cage and gave them the lizard because I started building enclosures with my friend.
And
they do.
They can. Those tails can actually.
Oh, that thing whooped the heck out of me,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
So
Lizards are
they'll cut
smelly,
you with
too.
those
Even iguanas.
Just to be honest, like, if you're going to get a snake, do your research first. Don't just go buy a snake. Right?
No, don't
please,
expect the person telling you to buy the snake that they're giving you the correct information.
Your
either.
honesty. The pet stores don't know.
It's like anywhere.
You want to go in there to save an animal's life. Keep that on your heart and just learn what you're getting. Because to be honest with you, there's like a lot of.
And you're gonna have to take other animals' lives, right? To.
Yes. So we feed
my gosh.
We feed it fresh, frozen, or fresh thawed. So it's pre-killed.
Oh,
and
okay.
we order the rodents, and they
Euthanized.
get mailed to us, and so they're humanely euthanized, and they come frozen, and we just thaw them out, and we feed them to them. Dude, some of these snakes, I'm not gonna lie. I have a snake that was given to me. That's a $10,000 snake.
And do they just bite, like they bite the...
Grab it, curl up on it, suffocate it, break all of its bones,
Do you
and then
hold
they
it in your
swallow it
hand,
all.
or you have
Oh,
a-
heck no, I have these big old...
No, I'm not trying to become
I'm not Steve
food.
Irwin.
Put it in your
My
teeth.
body gives off so they don't see as well as they would like, and most of their sense is all heat. So if my hand's in there, they don't know the difference between my hand and the rat.
So
I'm
let-
not trying to become snake food.
So have you been bitten?
I
She
got
has.
Yeah.
I got
She
nipped.
got nicked, but
Yeah,
I've been
he didn't really
striked
bite
at,
me.
but I kind of work with them, and I when they get striky, I want to work with them and let them know, because all they are scared. If I get bitten, it's my fault. Period. This animal is an
You did
animal.
something that scared them.
This is animals. This is just being an animal. I should learn this animal and respect this animal and give thanks to this animal and work with this animal in an honorable, respectable way. So if that animal bites me, I was being a fool. First off, first most, and that's you have to understand that we are the conscious beings here, not that thing. That thing has teeth, and its only thing is to survive. And everything that comes in contact with it either wants to capture it or kill it.
At this time, when they're full grown,
Oh,
they
no.
aren't afraid of anything.
Yeah, when they're apex predators and they're 20 feet long,
They're
and
not
they're
afraid
200
of
pounds,
anything.
They're
get out of my way.
They're the dominant.
Their heads are as big as your
And
hand.
actually,
full grown.
there
It's
is
crazy.
several cases of those large snakes killing an owner or a kid,
Yep.
or because they're not taken care of properly. Yeah.
Yep. Well, so that's why the whole thing we started to learn was these island localities, which is like Kalatoa, Madu, Ternate. There's a lot of these small little islands. Like
Champea.
some of these islands don't even have like. There's nothing on them. Like you can. One island is like a mile across. You can see the beach to beach, and these snakes are there, and so they stay smaller. And so there's this whole, which is I'd love to talk with you about this because your whole archaeological background and the whole evolution of these animals and what I understand about evolution.
Islands tend to create very small or very large animals.
Yep. And so there's a businessman that has like put out this whole like story about like these mainland reticulated pythons are like in a typhoon and they got on a tree and the tree broke and the tree ran across the water and these big snakes landed on these islands and they started to evolve and create these Galapagos miniature dwarf reticulated pythons. Well, me, I believe in spirit, and that just didn't feel right to me. So did some easy research, and easy research showed that X amount of years, a couple 100,000 years ago, that the land that was a whole land crossing, and you could walk across from Indonesia all the way across these islands. They were one big land mass until this great big flood came of the ice age, and all the water melted and it flooded these islands. So that's what separated them all from there. And it wasn't this wild story of a palm tree with 20 snakes.
And they're small
and two
because they
getting
can
off
only
here,
eat
two getting
small
off there.
things because it's a small island. So they
Yeah.
probably don't have access to a goat or a deer or
So
something.
they didn't get that large.
They
But
eat
the-
what they eat.
But the problem
birds.
is that they've been stopped importing these things like back in 2008 or something like that. And so all the genetics today are all inbred. They're all worked within that space, So it's give or take. I don't know how much longer we have with the evolution of these animals in captivity, of us producing them and shrinking them and working with them. I'm a cannabis breeder, and I've been able to breed cannabis, X amount of years ago and work with a lot of plants. And I've seen mutations in plants. I've seen bad breeding go down in animals. I knew people that bred dogs and horses, and I've seen terrible genetics and bad
Look at
crossings.
the bulldog. It can't even. Bulldog can't even lick its own butt.
That's- but
Can
that's what
you
I'm
lick
saying.
your own butt on the radio?
Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
good thanks, audio guy.
But-
We're safe.
I could say
Wait a
butt.
second. I can't lick my own butt.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you can, I don't think you've tried, and let's not.
I,
find
no,
out.
no, no, no. You didn't get that. He was thinking about all the times he
He's
did
like,
try. He's like,
"Can
I
I?
didn't make that.
Have
one,
I
did
tried? My thing was, have I tried?
almost made it, man.
Darn.
So our whole thing
I,
is.
I do not have a poopy butthole.
Okay, good.
I got a bidet, so it should work on getting one too. Just get a bidet and then get off that Neanderthal paper,
So before we had, how do they get a hold of you? You got your native healing oil.
Oh, yeah. And then so High Desert Healing is our channel on Instagram
that
and
didn't work.
Facebook. High Desert Healing 760. We do ayahuasca ceremonies. We do sound healing for them. We work with a place called High Desert Wellness, and they're
Oh, yeah,
they're in Victorville, and they take IEHP and their therapy services. And they offer chiropractic services, licensed therapy, and they take IHP, and we do sound therapy twice a month there. We do it on Wednesdays. We do one in the morning, we do one in the evening. So you go to our calendar. We put our calendar at the beginning of the month, and we have those shows. We offer combo in our space every third Tuesday of the month. We're doing it tomorrow, which I know it's the second Tuesday, but we have a busy schedule. And combo
usually
is
every third.
known as the vaccine of the jungle, and it can help with depression, anxiety, addictions, so many positive things. It's not a psychedelic.
Nope.
It's completely legal. You don't go to any mystical place, or you don't do anything crazy like that.
We have CE5
and we do
meditations.
CE5, yeah,
Contact
ET,
aliens.
ET contact meditation in the desert. So if you want to come out to Mojave Preserve and hang out with us, we play some gongs and some instruments and try to contact ET. It's a fun time.
Can you give me
then-
an autograph?
I'll try to.
If they come down for sure.
I got one of their space
And not
ships.
only that, but
You better be playing.
I'll play. Go ahead.
yeah. So this June 24th, I am going to be with my sister Karina, who's also known as Transition of the Soul. We're going to be doing a sun celebration ceremony for the summer solstice. And it's also known as a despacho, which is a beautiful ceremony to bring in beautiful energy. Everybody brings flowers to participate with, and then we create a mandala of the flowers, and we put prayers into it, and then the kids are welcome to come. Kids are free, and it's $40 for adults, but we will be doing, it's about 2 hours long, and then after the service, we're going to burn everything to put the energy out. So it's a huge energy pushing ceremony for the next 4 months. This will put beautiful positive energy out for the collective, the entire world. So that's why we're doing it. It's not just for us.
Awesome.
So
Yep, so we do quite a bit of things. You can
Yeah.
contact us. We have private ceremonies. We can come to your place. We do a bunch of different business locations in our region. We're in the high desert locally, but we come down to San Bernardino a lot. We hope to do more things with celebrities and some other places down here with Robert. So please look up to us. If you're looking for any animals or want to have any research about, we know a lot of breeders. We work with a lot of people locally. So everything we do here is Southern California based. So if you want to, enrich your life with some cool animals, we can definitely help in that department. And we know a lot of the people that do that work. So we're of service, and we're grateful to be here. Thank you very much.
Well,
Robert.
thank you both for showing up today. This is like the fourth time on the show.
something like that.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey with you two. I appreciate you. Shout out to Elmo out there, man.
Love you, Elmo.
For sure. And I'd like to thank you all. This is Robert Porter with the I Love San Bernardino County radio show, and we are out of here.